Good afternoon, it's Tony again from Paranormal Investigation UK. Today's date is Saturday, the 22nd of January 2022, and we're back looking at the capture from the Chester investigation. This one's dated the 15th of April 2021, and it's just coming up to 2:45 on a Thursday. Now, this is on the first floor. This is again the empty room. Now, the camera that's picked this up is what they call camera 2. There's a camera there on the other side of the room on that sort of kitchen area unit. That's roughly around that area there. Difficult to see on this particular piece of footage. And there's camera 2 on the other side of the building. This side of the building is just nothing here at all. Just a wall. So the only exit and entry to the room is that door there. At the back is a fire escape which takes onto metal steps downwards. What we have noticed is when I sort of did some sound tests on the building, is if somebody walks on the metal steps outside, the camera does pick it up, and that's the reason why this camera was placed here. Let's have a listen to it. You can understand. I do remember this one actually coming in, and we looked at it at the time. Looked at other cameras, and nothing else picked up the anomaly. That camera certainly didn't. So whatever has caused this very loud bang has to be on this side of the room. Otherwise, that camera would have picked it up. So have a quick listen. Just be ready, because this is a loud bang. I'll just go through the rest of it. I have looked through this before, and I can't hear anything else. But when we get into the software, we will look to make absolutely certain that we can't hear any other noise that may account for this unexplained bang. It's incredibly loud. We have had a dozen or so of incredibly loud bangs in both the main office as well as this empty room. One of them sounded like somebody got hold of a set of metal ladders and threw them in the air, and they went crashing down the floor. But investigations, no reason could be found, and those that are following the case will know that we've analysed high numbers of banged thumps. That's the bang again as it's replayed itself without any explanation. And although we haven't at the moment got a rational explanation for it, that doesn't mean to say it's paranormal, but we may be able to find out a rational explanation by just simply amplifying, because I know it's impossible to why someone would want to come up the steps and bang on the fire door and then walk back down is but I suppose it's potentially possible, but you can't. It's incredibly difficult because they're quite steep metal steps, and you can hear them. People walking up, certainly you'll be able to hear them walking back down again. So, if this is paranormal in nature, while I'm talking, let's fire mixed craft up. If it has got a paranormal explanation to this, it is common within this certain phenomena, unexplained noises, and I would have thought that was loud enough for that camera to pick it up. It doesn't. So it's almost as if these sounds are almost like, probably residual, maybe, possibly. We don't understand what's causing them in this building. I did 160 sound samples just in this room. Everything was given an impact on 3 different levels, and I've not been able to match anything like what we got with the test when there was definitely human interaction to something like this. And this is one of those loud ones again where we've not been able to come up with a explanation for them, because they seem to act differently than what you would do if I was to impact, say, a wall or a door, that type of thing. And they are incredibly common within cases that have got a paranormal edge to them. So we're going to see that it's almost gone into the red. That's an incredible impact. So what we'll firstly do is, there seems to be another one there which we'll look at in. Let's see if I can grab that one. It's a different sound, that. Then we'll turn the volume up to see if we can find any explanation for it. So firstly what I'm going to do is to bring in the analyzer again. Loop it. There's a fair spread of there. That's the initial impact, and then the sound, it begins to decay really to nothing. But there is a one there which we will have a look at separately. And what I'll do is I'll go to the average, and I'll get a screenshot of this frequency. Okay. That's incredibly loud, that. It's probably one of the louder ones, because it's almost just a fraction short of driving the audio. So the impact has been incredibly close to the microphone source. I suppose what we could do, I'll get rid of the visual. And there are various ways. What I often do is I'll go find some sort of bang samples, but I have got a high number because I've been in the building before. So on the software I use, Mixcraft, it does have quite an extensive of library of nearly 8,000 of sound samples. So you can just use a keyword really. Door bang. Let's try that. So what we can do, we can just load that in there. Okay. That'll do. And we'll put that in as well. Okay, we'll mute the main one. As you can see there, they're almost going into the red, with the other one is not quite there. So what we could always do is, if we look at the image we've taken as far as volume is concerned, so it's around about just over 27, minus 27. So, whoops, I want that. Probably got so many icons, very easy to click on the wrong one you don't want. So what we'll do, bring the analyzer back up again, and what we're looking for is the, look at this one, is the volume. So we're not looking for it to go above it. If it does, we'll just simply turn it down. bit more. That's about right. And what we've got there is a massive spread of frequency on the first bang, covering all the frequency bands. It's just dropped off there then, because it'll only go to 20,000 hertz. So it's a huge spread of sound. And what we'll do, look at this, the next one. Like you can see there, just stop that a second. As you can see there, it is actually quite similar. You know, it's never going to be exact; it's impossible. But it's very similar. You've got a load of bass frequency and then a series of reflections because of the strength of it. So it's not actually too far off that sample that I've got on the software. So that's really just as a you know, an example for you, really. So you can actually look at something and think, well, what is the reason for that particular sound? So we can fairly say that, you know, you don't need an analyzer to tell you it's a big bang and a loud one as well. So what I'm now going to attempt to do is to grab this second reflection. It's going to be quite difficult because there is other sound in there. Yeah, it's a bass sound. We can turn the volume up if we need to. I think that's a reflection. Yeah, it's that loud that the sound's being projected outwards, hitting a flat surface, reflecting back, and the microphone picks that secondary one up. Now we do get a clue with that, because what we have noticed with the raps that have been experienced in the building, subsequent reflections of sound are missing. It's almost as if whatever impacted the object to make or the surface to make the sound, it cushions it, acting like a glove, and it doesn't reflect outwards. That one certainly is, because that is certainly a reflection of sound, which initially that's the first bang, and then what we're talking, it's about 2.5 seconds, just over half a second later, you get the second reflection, which is about right. For example, if it was, if we look at the room itself, if that wall was there, it might be a second before the sound comes reflecting back towards the camera microphone again. So that does suggest some sort of rational explanation. Doesn't rule it out completely, I can assure you. Put that in there. So we've got a screenshot of that frequency. The second frequency is all bass frequency, because all the high end and the mid range has disappeared. So when we get the analyzer up, all you're seeing is just simple bass frequency. if she's there. So that's certainly a second reflection. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to take the loop off, and we're actually going to listen to the rest of the track now with the volume amplified quite high. I'll go as far as I can, but you've just got to be careful when you start to amplify. Even when there's nothing occurring, the microphone's still listening, and you get what we call background feedback has a tendency to occur. Okay, right, let's fire that up. So it's about 15-16 decibels higher. Yeah, maybe go a little bit higher. So let me go back again. Because what I'm actually listening for is any sort of sound that could be associated with that bang that we've got, somebody interfering, that type of thing. Like there. I'm amplifying this so high that even somebody driving a car outside into the car park, I will hear it. It's amplified that high, so that thump. No. Just trying to find it again. There. It's not showing any signal whatsoever. Ultra quiet. Turn the volume down, the output gain down. I can just hear it now. And the analyzer's picking up. I'll make a note of that anyway. Just there, around about 50 Hertz. But that could be anything. It could be anyone from, is an office block. So it's an unusual one again. What we're going to do is note the frequency down of the bang. We've listened to the rest of the 55 seconds. There's nothing like feet walking that would explain it. So if someone was to come up with the fire escape, banged on the door really, really hard, I'm pretty confident it's not a door because it's a wooden door, and they have a habit, if you bang them that hard, is once it's got a metal bar across it, that rattles, and the other side is the door begins to vibrate. And I have had a look at this door before, so I'm confident it's not the door. One is, I've absolutely no idea. I'll listen to it for one final time before I close this particular movie down. It does have a wooden door sound to it. So the way I'm going to actually record this is obviously with the screenshot. The fact that at 27 seconds there is another boom sound, although it's very low volume, and it's certainly not something within the room. And it does have the sound substance of the fire door being struck, although we couldn't hear anybody coming down the steps. Because what you've got to bear in mind with this building is there are multiple cameras everywhere, and security and other members of staff know of our presence, and we've been on this case since May 2020. The risk of fraud is quite high. The reason why we have cameras basically all over the place. We've never ever once encountered a possibility of fraud. Misdiagnosing an event is one thing, fraud is something completely different. And at the moment we've never experienced anything like that. Certainly in the case of the security and the cleaning staff, they would be on dangerous grounds if they began that sort of tactic, deliberately causing phenomena to cause some confusion, because the building owner, this is a multi-million-pound business complex at the end of the day, he's looking to rent rooms out. It's all low key. He doesn't want that sort of nonsense occurring. So, but I don't know. It's one of them that we haven't got the answers to everything, and this is just another one where you've got to remain open-minded. It suggests some sort of rational explanation, although we've not been able to bring the evidence to support that, such as people walking about or voices, that type of thing. So if I wanted to go up them steps quietly, bang on that door as loud as possible, and just stayed there for about a minute to allow the camera to capture the footage and then shut down, I could then sneak away and leave that behind. But there are numerous people around the different office buildings, like a couple of H-shaped buildings, and the likelihood of discovery is quite high, particularly when it's at 2:45 on a Thursday afternoon. So anyway, that's that one. I'll shut that down now, that case, and I'll see you. This is number 342, and I'll see you on movie 343. Okay, thank you, bye. Any comments, please let me know in the comments box.